Please welcome David Simon. Good to see you again, David. Thanks for coming back.
Yes, I am here, and this is your AEW Dynamite review show for Wednesday, November 24th. Fans tossing Cody's belt back, Thunder Rosa advancing in the TBS tournament, and CM Punk and MJF going face-to-face. What a promo. Let's break it all down with Johnny. Let's do it. Yes. Yes, indeed. Hey, Johnny.
How's it going?
Fine. How are you?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Not bad. You know, I just find fans are a little restless these days. It seems the fans don't appreciate wrestlers that much anymore.
Whoa, you talking about Seth Rollins and his attack? You see me break that down on Monday night? What Seth should have done?
Well, I saw that, and, you know, fans not appreciating Cody, they give him something and throw it back. Like, yeah, that's kind of mean. Also, the ref took that. Like, why did the ref have to, like, get whipped right in the face with that? That was kind of mean.
Yeah. It was Ref Aubrey, too, right?
Kind of rough. Like, it's not her fault that people don't like Cody. Like, I don't know why she has to take that.
Yeah, I don't think she was hurt. I mean, the belt was tossed from a distance. I don't think it carried much velocity there hitting Aubrey. But Cody Rhodes during the match, it was the main event tonight. Cody Rhodes teaming up with Pac and the Lucha Brothers to take on Malachi Black, Andrade, and FTR. And Cody at one point during the match has his weight belt that he uses during his matches and sometimes throws into the crowd. He threw it into the crowd, and there was some commotion. And then the fan who got the belt threw it back, and it actually got back into the ring. It hit the ref. Andrade looked upset. He grabbed the belt, put it under the ring. Cody later on got the belt back, threw it to somebody in the first couple of rows. You didn't see who it was that got the belt, and I don't think that they threw it back, although I'm not sure because we didn't see it. But that fan did throw Cody's belt back. It was reminiscent of the John Cena, Rob Van Dam one-night stand match when John Cena was throwing his T-shirt into the crowd, and the crowd kept throwing it back. I mean, it wasn't as crazy as that because Cena, you know, the fan threw the shirt back. Cena takes the shirt, throws it back to another fan. The other fan throws it back in. It hits a security guard at some point. Security guard throws it back in Cena and then flips Cena off. Like, that was the craziest thing ever. When the security guard's like, screw you, Cena. That was good. That was a good moment. But tonight, seeing that belt getting flung back, it's just the fans rejecting Cody. You want to be a babyface? You want to pander to the fans? You want to give us toys? You want to give us memorabilia to try and get us on your side? It's not going to work. there's no amount of free T-shirts or free weight belts or whatever that's going to get these fans back on Cody's side. I like Cody. I would have taken that belt and sold it and offset the cost of my ticket for the show, I think. That would have been a smart move. You could probably thank you very much. Shout out to Leor renewing the membership. Don't forget to become a member if you're not a member already. Become a member of the team. Join.ringsidereport.net or donate.ringsidereport.net. But I would have definitely taken that belt and either kept it as a memorabilia piece, because why not? It's Cody's ring-worn belt. It's got value. I'm surprised that fan threw it back. Like a John Cena t-shirt, okay, he's throwing his shirt out all the time. There's probably a lot of them out there. And in the heat of the moment, I get it. But tonight, you're in Chicago, and Cody's throwing his weight belt at you. I keep that belt. Wouldn't you have kept the belt, John? It's a pretty cool piece of wrestling history right there. It's a Cody Rhodes original weight belt. You can't buy that. You could resell that for, I'm thinking, at least $300.
Well, that's it. I mean, you can claim that you're the one who got that belt. I mean, yeah, for sure you could sell that off more on the internet. I'm sure people would love to buy that from you. So I don't know why someone would just throw it away just for that moment, which was kind of not really anything special, in my opinion. But I guess for some people that meant a lot. People were trying to egg him on, too. I don't know if you noticed that. So I think in that section, it was a big deal.
They were trying to egg the fan on, you're saying, to throw it back.
Yeah.
Yeah. The fans around the fan that did throw the belt did seem to kind of encourage him to throw it back, which, it's something that they do. Is it the Cubs that do that when an opposing team hits a home run, they throw the ball back in the field? Isn't it the Chicago Cubs that do that?
I'm not aware if the Cubs do that or not. They shouldn't do that. It's kind of rough to do that. I mean, it's a home run. You should keep that ball.
I think it's a Cubs baseball thing. It's a Chicago thing. They throw it back. Yeah, it's a Cubs thing. After I just looked it up to make sure that I was right there, because I know it was a team, but I was pretty sure it was the Cubs. If you hit a baseball out, over the fence at Wrigley and it lands in those bleachers, they're going to toss it back. If you're not a Chicago Cub, they throw all visiting player home runs back. So I think they were giving him the Cubs treatment. It's in Chicago. You throw the thing. That's what people in Chicago do. They throw it back. It's cultural, John. I don't think you should take offense. It's a cultural Chicago thing that is part of, the baseball. Yeah, there you go. Doug Hepburn confirming it. He knows. It was a Chicago thing. I thought it was cool. I thought it was a great moment. I mean, I would not have done it because I would have kept it because it's cool. It's Cody's belt. It's cool. But I liked it. Watching it on TV, I was like, oh, they threw the belt back. These fans really don't like Cody. They really don't.
I really feel like it's just a tag-along kind of thing. Like, a bunch of fans didn't like Cody. Everyone else is not going to like Cody kind of thing. Like, I think people are going to forget, why they really hate Cody. I think it's just a thing to do kind of thing.
Yeah, a lot of the fans are rejecting Cody, and it's weird the way AEW is booking him because he's clearly a heel. I think at this point, despite what we may feel about Cody, he's a heel. I think most AEW fans see Cody as a bad guy, yet they continue to book him as a babyface. They see him as this, Hollywood guy who gets everything, who has the most impressive entrance. He's the only guy that doesn't have to come in through a heel or a babyface tunnel. He comes in through the floor. Like, it's more elaborate for Cody, and I think a lot of the fans are rejecting him for one reason or another. But tonight it took on a different aspect, and I thought it was good. I liked it. The problem is they keep booking him as a babyface, and you wonder when they're just going to say, okay, let's book him against babyfaces instead of against heels, because it was awkward. There were parts of that match that were awkward. Cody did go for a super kick on Andrade that Andrade ducked, and Cody wound up hitting Pac. So there are moments where Cody's like, kind of a heel, you know? I didn't like that because that was the second time that somebody went for a super kick tonight, and the person that the kick was intended for ducked, and then they hit a, right? Didn't Britt Baker do that to Jamie Hayter during her match?
That led to the finish, yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't like that. Two ducks for a super kick in the same show. It's like a bit same, but it just showed that Cody, and Pac probably not done, still have unsettled differences. Everybody in and out of the ring during this match, you must have been pulling your hair out, going crazy. Not respecting the tag ropes, tag rules, or anything. Everybody was in and out all over the place. Just jumping in, and it didn't seem to matter who was the legal man. No one knew. Everybody lost track. It was a mess.
Well, it's an 8-man tag. It's what I expected. I mean, that's typically what an AEW match is. It's more Lucha Libre style than anything. So, I mean, you don't lose your hair when you're just kind of used to it by now.
Yeah, but you're used to it with the Young Bucks, and you say Lucha Libre. I mean, Rey Fénix, Pentagon. I guess you could say those guys are Lucha guys. Maybe you could push it with Andrade, but the rest of the guys, it's not Lucha. Malachi, Cody is not a Lucha, man. Pac, he does flips, but he's, I wouldn't consider him Lucha Libre. FTR is definitely not Lucha Libre. So I didn't really understand. This was kind of a Young Bucks style match where everybody was all over the place, except the Bucks weren't in it. So I guess that's just how AEW multi-man tag matches work. They just, go in and out. It doesn't matter who's in the match. It's just always going to be like this, which is a bit annoying. Like, once in a while, it should make a little bit more sense. Like, why are they allowed to just jump in and out of the ring whenever they want? Constantly. And sometimes it's 2-on-1, and nobody from the other team jumps to save their partner. They just kind of stand on the apron watching their partner get a 2-on-1 attack. They don't even try to get into the ring. Nothing. It happens a lot. A lot in these AEW tag matches, and it's like, especially the multi-man tag matches, they just turn into an all-out melee. The referee always loses control.
Well, I think regardless of the Bucks not being there, they've influenced the style of that kind of match in AEW that everyone else kind of follows what they do, in a sense. Like Cody, obviously, I think probably thinks highly of them as a tag team and thinks that style works. People like that kind of style, or at least the AEW fan base mainly like that style, so it's what they go with. But yeah, it just seems like it's more chaotic than anything than actually a wrestling match.
Yeah. A match with Cody and Malachi and the FTR, I don't expect to be this chaotic. It was more a Lucha Brothers style match. And I was a little disappointed. I didn't love it. I thought it was all right. They did some cool things. But it was just kind of a mess. Everybody in and out of the ring. And then at some point, the dust settled. Everybody was down. And Arn and Tully get into the ring. Like, goddamn, everybody was getting into this ring. Yeah, but, I mean, yeah, they teased it last week. So what? I'm supposed to accept it? Like, what was that? Why are Arn and Tully allowed to just be in the ring? What does it take to get disqualified in AEW?
Oof, that's a great question. Like, I think you'd actually have to, like, possibly end someone's life, I think.
Yeah. Like, I really like how AEW has, finishes, and I think WWE overdoes, disqualification finishes or count-out finishes, or especially distraction finishes, like way too many distraction finishes in WWE. But in AEW, like, there's a lot of chaos, and it seems like there are no rules. So then when you have a no DQ match or a street fight or whatever, it doesn't up the ante any because you're already operating under a system with no rules. So I think a few more rules would help. Shout out to people on the chat, Doug Hepburn, Angelo Contagonis watching us on Twitch, AJ in the house as well, watching us over on Facebook. So we got people on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch tonight. Shout out to everybody watching us. And you know what? No matter where you're watching, you could like the video. And you could subscribe to the channel. I don't know if you could subscribe to the channel on Facebook. I think you just like the page. But you could like the page and the video on Facebook. And on YouTube, you could subscribe to the channel. Let's go. Let's go.
Almost 2,000 followers on YouTube.
Yeah, we're getting there, man. Let's go. Let's do it. I would like to hit 2,000 by the end of the year, 2021. But if we could hit 2,021 subscribers by the end of 2021, I'd be ecstatic. I'd give something away. Maybe even something cool like this. I mean, maybe not this exactly, but something like this. Look at that. You see what that is? Chris Jericho with 2 jackets, brother. 2 jackets. Look at that shiny pink jacket he's got. So nice. Le Champion.
Is that the jacket that got sprayed with orange juice, if not mistaken?
The white one, maybe? Yeah, I think so. The white one is the orange jacket. Just add it to my Chris Jericho collection. I've got like 3 AEW Jerichos at this point. It's getting excessive. Okay, so that match was all right. Arn and Tully got into the ring. Jose came in. Jose is Andrade's manager, I want to say. Arn and Tully decide to team up on him, punch him out. FTR comes in to kind of back up Tully and intimidate Arn. Cody doesn't make the save, right? You know, who's Arn's guy. It's not Cody baby facing it up. It's Rey Fenix who makes the save for Arn. So I thought it was interesting that they could have used Cody in this instance to get a little bit of love, because if he's going to protect Arn, they can't boo that. But instead they use Rey Fenix to do that. Eventually, Malachi Black hit his black mist, sprayed the mist in Pac's face while the ref was, I guess, distracted, but doesn't even matter. And that allowed Andrade to hit his El Idolo DDT for the 1-2-3. Malachi Black, Andrade, and FTR beat Pac, Cody, and the Lucha Brothers in the main event tonight. Not my favorite match of the night. I know you know what my match of the night is, John, easily. You can predict it.
I guess it's Bryan Danielson.
Always? I mean, why wouldn't it be? Well, not always, but I'd say most times he wrestles, he's match of the night. He did it again tonight with Colt Cabana. Was that your match of the night? What do you think?
Well, just because I felt the matches weren't actually very good tonight, so yeah, I guess that was just by default.
There you go. Wow. Wait a second. Do you just agree with me and say that Bryan Danielson had the best match tonight? There you go. I don't care if it's by default, John. I'll take it. I'm accepting it.
Small victories, I guess.
Yeah. I'll take them every step of the way. JC, yes, we did see Cody's belt get thrown back. We talked about it at the top of the show. What do they do with Cody? Do they turn him heel? Do they have him take on baby faces? Or do they just kind of let it go and have him continue to do this weird John Cena thing where he's being booed out of every building but still booked as a babyface?
Well, I think no matter what, if he's a face or heel, he's going to wrestle Pac, I think, next. Like, it makes the most sense because they didn't fist pump before the match, and they had that problem again during the match. So no matter what, face or heel, he's going to wrestle him.
Well, heel, right? I mean, doesn't the crowd dictate what you are? You could come out and have whatever persona you want, but if you are booked against a babyface in Pac, and if you are booed out of the building, doesn't that just mean he's a heel? He doesn't have to change anything.
Yeah, but well, he's not going to wrestle like he's not. He's going to do what he's usually doing. Like, he'll do teases like this, but for the most part, he's not going to cheat.
Yeah. Do you need to cheat to be a heel?
I mean, if this was usual wrestling, yeah. In AEW, it depends. It depends. They go more on their character, I think. I feel Cody would cheat. He would seem like that kind of guy if he's a heel, but because he's trying not to be a heel, he'll make sure not to cheat. Which would probably make people boo him anyways.
Yeah. I think people would boo him because he doesn't cheat to win. You know?
Right.
Because he's such a goody two-shoes. He can't cheat. So the crowd will hate him for being that guy. Kind of like a early Kurt Angle type of heat. You know? So nice, so good, so over-the-top good that you can't help but hate him. Now, I'm not giving away Yeezys. AJ's talking about me giving away Yeezys. I'm not giving away Yeezys. What the hell is he talking about? Maybe if we hit 20,000 by the end of the year, I'd give away Yeezys, but we're not hitting 20,000 by the end of the year. I think I said that at some point. Like, yeah, if we hit 20,000 by the end of the year, I'll give away Yeezys, but I don't think we're getting close to that. I mean, if by some miracle we do, okay, I'll do that. I just got a new pair of Yeezys, so I'll give those away if we hit 20,000 subscribers on YouTube by the end of this year, which is like almost over. So tell your friends, all right? One of the subscribers. All right, what else happened, John? The opening
CM
promo.
Punk thing happened with MJF, yeah.
Yeah, that was the best thing that happened tonight, by far.
Yeah, there's no question. Easily. Probably the best thing you'll see all week.
In all of pro wrestling.
I mean, the Seth Rollins thing, I mean, that was interesting.
Is that the best thing you've seen all week?
I mean, I won't deny it. I watched that several times over.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know about you.
I mean, I broke it down on the show. I watched the fan video over and over. We watched it and paused it, and I explained what Seth should have done. Yeah, grab the front face lock, but please pull some guard. His legs were just like nowhere where they needed to be. He had a clear attempt at a butterfly guard, didn't do it. He could have had a closed guard, didn't do it. Did nothing with his legs. Showed a clear lack of understanding of basic grappling. Your instinct should be to pull guard. The fact that he didn't pull guard and let that man pass over his legs and get to his chest is absolutely shameful. And if I were booking WWE, I would fire Seth Rollins because of his lack of real fighting ability.
Well, to be fair, he was blindsided. I don't know if you saw one angle, like he barely saw it coming by the time he turned around.
Yeah, but you see him adjust at one point. He barely sees it coming. He's down, but then he grabs the guy's head, but he grabs the guy's head with no follow-up. There's no follow-up move. There's no step two, which is control the man's body with your legs. He doesn't do that. That should be natural instinct. I don't care if you take me down, even if I don't see it. Once I'm down, I'm going to have muscle memory to know what to do. I'm going to have muscle memory to control a guy. Especially if I'm as jacked as Seth Rollins, you'd think you'd be able to control him easily. That guy was all over Seth. All over him. It was 2-on-1. The referee came in, tried to help Seth. That guy was still controlling them. Took like a mob of security to take that guy. Come on, Seth. I was a little disappointed. I thought, Chavo Guerrero went out and said it. He's like, back in my day, the wrestlers beat up the fans easily. I was like, yeah.
He's apologized for that, though.
Yeah, he's apologized because people got on him, but, I don't think he's wrong. It's true. Like, back in the day, if you did that to somebody, they'd smash you. Like, imagine somebody doing that to Brock. How would that go? Wouldn't go so well.
That's why it didn't happen to Brock, because, people wouldn't try that with him. But unfortunately, this happened, and security's got to be more on the ball. Like, for that to happen, that's really unexpected. It should never happen.
No, the fan shouldn't do that.
They shouldn't even get that close. I mean, the fact that he had that much room, like, where was security? Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. But also, like Angelo's pointing out, he was yelling at the guy, is that all you got? Like, the guy did nothing to him, really, and Seth did less. And then when security jumps on him, that's when Seth decides to talk smack. Like, he didn't even jump in, try to throw a punch or something, nothing. Seth is just like jaw-jacking the guy. I don't know. He looked like kind of a punk, Seth. He didn't look very intimidating or tough or anything. I was very disappointed. You try that on somebody who knows what they're doing. They will smash you immediately. The fact that Seth wasn't able to gain control in a matter of seconds is disappointing. I think a lot of pro wrestlers that we grew up watching would have been able to take control easily. I think a lot of pro wrestlers that are in the game today would have been able to take control of that guy pretty quickly.
I think the most important part about all this is that like no one was really seriously injured. That he could have been really hurt in this actually. So thankfully that didn't happen.
Yeah, well, the fan should have been seriously hurt, and he wasn't. Not a scratch on him. Seth should have beat the hell out of that guy. I don't know why he wasn't able to do that. I was disappointed that he didn't beat the shit out of him. He really should have, but hey, it is what it is. I don't know if that was the best thing we saw all week. I think the best thing we saw all week was probably the promo, John. I think this promo was better than Seth Rollins getting attacked. That was an unfortunate event. Do not attack pro wrestlers, all right? It's not a good idea. Like when they're wrestling, you know? Unprovoked. Don't attack anyone unprovoked, actually. Don't fight people if they don't see you coming. That's not a fight. That's a disgusting move. That's a terrible thing to do. Apparently, though, this guy the fan was tricked by some sort of fake Seth Rollins account, and this guy sent Seth Rollins money and got into all sorts of financial and legal trouble because of this fake Seth Rollins account that got money out of this dumb fan.
Yeah, but did you see the video that he released saying that like it was Vince and Goldberg that sent him out to go after Kobe Lopez?
Yeah,
like,
he's obviously not all the way there. There's something wrong with him.
Yeah.
Possibly some mental health issues going on with this guy. So I wish him the best. I hope he gets the help that he needs and is never again allowed at a pro wrestling show. But yeah, it's dangerous. Security should have been on him. Because, you know, you do it to Seth. Seth's all right. This guy could have done it to anybody. He could have done it to Liv Morgan. You know what I mean? He could have done it to Becky Lynch.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Then we have a real situation, you know. Seth can take it. He's a tough guy. He's strong. He wasn't hurt. He was fine. But, I mean, if one of these crazy people jumps the barricade and attacks one of the women, like, you know, they have time there to do something really bad. It could have got really bad. So it's worrisome. Always Brooklyn, too. It was in Brooklyn where Bret Hart got jumped at the Hall of Fame there. Somebody's going to jump Bret Hart. That was disgusting.
It's terrible that happened.
Yeah, they should not do that.
That guy got his in the end, though. So
yeah.
There was some justice there.
Do that to Johnny North. See if he doesn't beat the living shit out of you. Right? Imagine somebody did that to you, John. Nobody's jumped a barricade on you. If they did, you destroy them immediately. Because then you have carte blanche to do whatever you want.
Well, you hope it never comes to that, but, you know, you have to protect yourself.
That's right. CM Punk comes to the ring for a match. Do that to CM Punk. I bet you get into some real trouble. That guy was in the UFC.
Well, remember that guy who, like, CM Punk thought, like, was pushing him, and he just, like, punched him out? It wasn't even the right guy.
Yeah. And he was in a crowd of people. Punk's not afraid. Punk will go into the crowd and punch you. Forget you jumping over the barricade and trying to attack Punk and him beating you up. Punk will go into the crowd and punch you in the face. Even if you aren't the guy who pushed him. He's just going to, you know, go hard. All right? So CM Punk comes to the ring for a match. MJF shows up and cuts an in-ring promo on Punk. They are in Chicago, Punk's hometown. The crowd is hot for Punk. MJF says that Punk hurt his feelings last week when he didn't shake his hand. He says it was almost as bad as when Punk took his ball and went home like a little bitch 7 years ago. MJF says the pipe bomb is Punk's best moment, while every MJF moment is MJF's best moment. Saying, you know, Punk's pipe bomb in WWE, that's the best thing he ever did. While MJF does the best thing he ever does every single time he steps into the ring. MJF says he's not a one-trick pony like CM Punk, and he's going to verbally finish Punk quicker than his UFC career. Going hard,
Ouch.
hitting all the angles on CM Punk. Punk finally takes a microphone as MJF has berated him now for a while, and Punk is just standing there watching it. Punk takes the mic, tells MJF he's disappointed in him. He says MJF had 7 days to come up with something, but instead he went for the lowest hanging fruit. Punk says MJF thinks he's a revolutionary, but in reality, he's just a less famous Miz. Which was a shocking statement. I didn't expect him to name drop Miz in this promo. That's one of the last guys I expected him to name drop, but the comparisons have been there. We have kind of said that he's like a very good Miz. Like if Miz was awesome, like if the character was actually good, you know, if Mike Mizanin could really cut a promo and have great matches, it would be similar to what MJF is doing.
MJF's a better wrestler, though.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. MJF is like a much better Miz in every way.
Well, in every way, yes.
Yeah, of course. That's what I'm saying, John. You know I hate the Miz. Miz is the worst. Miz is terrible. I'm surprised CM Punk even mentioned Miz in kind of a glowing way because it got the crowd to chant Miz, and Punk looked kind of surprised that they were chanting Miz. And, you know, Punk doesn't like the Miz. We know this. He has outright said he doesn't like the Miz. He once tweeted to the Miz to go suck a blood money covered dick or something. Like he was...
Yeah.
Right? Because Miz said something about Punk, and then Punk talking about how Miz takes blood money and he sucks blood money dick or something. It was crazy. It was a shocking thing, and I was like, oh, wow, I guess Punk really doesn't like Miz. But he name-dropped him here, and I think that was just a you know, that was an insult. Punk saying, you're a less famous Miz. He's saying, you know, Miz sucks, and you're shittier than Miz, which is quite an insult. Less famous Miz. Quite an insult from Punk. Fans went crazy for that one. MJF says Punk is just a nostalgia act, and his AEW run has been a disappointment. MJF says since Punk's return, he struggled to beat easy competition and hasn't said anything intriguing. MJF says, oh, Punk's breath smells like shit, probably because he's been kissing so much ass recently. MJF says Punk's promos have been robotic. I am so glad to be in insert name of city. I can't wait to wrestle insert name of guy. MJF says he's PG Punk, and he might as well be out here pushing hustle, loyalty, and respect. A John Cena mention here in this promo. A lot of WWE mentions in this promo, which, you know, makes sense. Punk's been around a lot of these guys. MJF asks Punk why he was gone for 7 years. He asks him, was it because you were making comic books that no one read or movies that no one saw? Which, pretty fantastic. MJF says Punk was gone because he's scared, because he knows that he can't hang anymore. MJF says Punk's whole career, he's been second best, whether it's the You Can't See Me Man or the King of Kings. Name dropping Cena again and Triple H. The King of Kings, the Gamer, the Cerebral Assassin, the Measuring Stick. He's that damn good, and he's all elite. No, he's not. He's not. I'm kidding. Sorry, you start naming Triple H, aliases, his nicknames, and I just go all out. I like Measuring Stick. That was used for a while. That was good. The Measuring Stick? Remember when he was calling himself that? I'm the Measuring Stick. That damn good.
Well, true. He was the king of nicknames, no question about that.
That's right. He was the Cerebral Assassin. He could come up with so many nicknames. Punk says that he was selling out Madison Square Garden while MJF was marking out for Rosie O'Donnell. Punk says MJF Punk asks MJF if he wants him to sing him a song, making fun of MJF singing all those songs with Jericho. Punk says he came to AEW to face the heart and soul of the company, Darby Allin, and didn't need a ring like MJF did, the diamond ring that he used to punch Darby. Punk says he didn't need a ring or anything to beat Darby like MJF did. Punk says MJF talks about being a pillar when he doesn't even realize he's been replaced by Britt Baker, which I don't really understand, but I kind of do. You know, like MJF was kind of up here, and Britt Baker was kind of down here, and now MJF is like lower on the pecking order of AEW stars. Talking about the top 5 in AEW, Britt's probably replaced him. In a way, although MJF is pretty damn good. I don't know. Punk says the only way MJF is number 1 is if we wait around long enough for Tony to have a daughter for MJF to marry. Which, kind of a dig at Triple H, I think. And MJF. Punk wants to fight MJF. MJF squares up with him, but then decides to roll out of the ring, and that was the end of the promo. Punk then wrestled QT Marshall and beat him with a go to sleep. And again, in this match, it took Punk way too long to beat easy competition. QT is a jabroni, and it took Punk way too long to beat him. It was shorter than the promo, though. It was a long promo, but, you know, it needed some time. It was really good.
JR mentioned, though, that he thinks it took Punk too long because he thinks the promo kind of rattled Punk a bit. And like he was thinking too much of the promo and he wasn't thinking too much about QT.
Okay. That's a cheap excuse. I don't like that, John. No.
I'm just telling you what JR said. That's it. Like that's what they're telling you. Like that's their story.
You know I love JR. I'm rocking a JR shirt right now.
Love for this.
Tougher than a $2 steak, pal. Good God Almighty. Love you, JR. Get well soon. You will beat cancer. Just like you beat the wrestling business against all odds. Because you are tougher than a $2 steak. I love you, JR. Get well soon. We love JR here. Big JR fans. I hope he's all right, man. I'm worried about JR. He's got cancer.
Yeah, it's rough, but he's going through the treatments right now.
Yeah, love that guy. I don't like any wrestling fans who are like, oh, I don't like JR on commentary. He's no good. Shut the fuck up. The guy's the voice of wrestling. I don't give a fuck. This guy could be on the mic till he dies. He's the man. Always will be. Always has been. But yeah, what a promo between Punk and MJF. Just masterful stuff. This is what we've been waiting for, right? This is what we expected when Punk and MJF would step into the ring against each other. We knew when Punk came to AEW that it was just a matter of time before these two guys went up one-on-one in the ring with microphones because MJF, one of the best promo guys, Punk, one of the best promo guys. It was inevitable. And it happened tonight, and I loved it. Part 1, anyways. I don't think we're done. I think we're going to see more. I don't know when this match will be. I assume they'll wrestle at some point, but I want to see more promos. I hope this wasn't the last face-to-face that we saw, but man, did they ever hit a bunch of points here in this one. And they said a lot, but I think MJF had the upper hand. I don't know about you, John, but I thought MJF won this promo battle.
Well, I really like Punk's line about Tony Khan having like a daughter. That was pretty good.
But was that an insult to MJF or more to Triple H? Saying, the only way that a guy like MJF could be on top is if he married the boss's daughter. Kind of saying like Triple H, who did that, wasn't that good, but he was on top because he married the boss's daughter. I thought it was more of a dig at Triple H. Because, like, Tony Khan's, like, a few years older than MJF. There's no way in hell that MJF's going to wind up marrying a Tony Khan daughter if that happens in the future, right? So, I thought that was more of a dig at Triple H, which is rough. Like, Triple H got knocked around a little bit. John Cena got knocked around a little bit. Like, what did they do?
Well, they're part of Punk's history. Like, it makes sense if you're going to do that. I mean, I'm not a big fan of them using like WWE references, but it's Punk's history. They kind of have to.
Triple H, The Miz, John Cena, all name dropped in this promo.
They got the best reactions.
And the only AEW guy that they mentioned was Darby Allin. They talked. And Britt Baker. They still reference more WWE guys in this promo than AEW people, which is interesting. But it is part of Punk's history. What do you think about those people who say, "Oh, AEW, they always take shots at WWE and they can't do anything without taking shots at WWE, and why can't they just shut up and do their own thing?" Because I know those people are going to be all out on the internets tonight talking about, "Whoa, why are they mentioning WWE guys so much?" I don't know why people get so mad that it happens. I mean, WWE is the biggest wrestling company in the history of the world, and a lot of the people that wrestle in AEW will have wrestled in the WWE because the WWE has had massive rosters over the years. There's a lot of turnover. So why wouldn't other wrestling companies have ex-WWE people and reference some WWE things once in a while and even take shots, because there are shots to be taken and it gets people talking. So why not? I like it. I don't mind it at all. I think you have to mention WWE. They're the elephant in the room. They're always there. So I don't mind it. I like the WWE references. You do too, right, John?
Again, when they're appropriate. Like, I feel like when they just bash them for the sake of bashing them, I feel like it's kind of not needed. It's unnecessary. You're just trying to get a reaction just by mentioning WWE. That's not the way to go about it. But with Punk, given his history with Cena and Triple H and Miz, it all makes sense to use that kind of stuff, because those guys were pretty much like huge in Punk's like career, like in terms of becoming WWE champion.
Yep. Great stuff. I don't know when this match will be between MJF and Punk, but keep the build going because the promos are very good. And as far as like AEW wrestlers coming from the WWE, a lot of people complain about that. Again, like WWE, they have such massive rosters and they release so many people and then they hire so many other people. I don't understand how people complain about AEW having so many WWE talents. It's like, why wouldn't they hire these people? If WWE doesn't want them, they're highly talented wrestlers. Why not pick them up? They're good. That's why WWE hired them, because they know what they're doing. They're talents, and sometimes there's just no spot for them in the WWE. So why wouldn't AEW or Impact or whoever pick these people up? Would you rather they go without jobs? I don't get it. People complain about everything.
Well, I think the complaint is more on like the fact you're going to sign all these people and you still have all this other talent that you're not using whatsoever. So I think that's where I think the issue lies. It's like you book WWE talent, you push them on television, but all this other talent that you consider your homegrown talent, you barely use.
Who do you need to see more of that we're not seeing right now in AEW?
Well, personally, like I'm not huge on seeing a bunch of these guys, but I know a lot of people want to see Sonny Kiss more often. And apparently it's been like close to a year. Apparently you haven't seen him on like Dynamite.
Okay. That's it? Sonny Kiss? You miss Sonny Kiss. You need Sonny Kiss. I mean, keep those people on AEW Dark. Joey Janela, Sonny Kiss. There's better people to watch. They got Bryan Danielson. They got CM Punk. They got Colt Cabana. I want to see these guys. I want to see the legends. I mean, maybe Sonny Kiss instead of Billy and Colton Gunn against Bear Country. Well, there we have Bear Country tonight, John. You must be happy. You haven't seen those guys in a while.
It's funny that they're 10-2 as a tag team. It's like, really? Well, that's nice to know they're actually doing something.
Wow. Billy and his son Colton beat Bear Country after interference from Austin Gunn. The three guns, Billy and his two boys. Sting came out after the match. Austin Gunn ran at Sting, but then Darby Allin exploded out of the tunnel with one of the most incredible pounces you will ever see. That was amazing.
It was pretty good.
It was amazing. Monty Brown stood up. Oh, shout out to Silent by Deadly, dropping a super chat. Thank you.
Nice.
You are the super chat leader, Silent by Deadly. Appreciate you. And yes, we did talk about Seth earlier in the show. You can check it out. We also talked about it on Monday. I broke it down. I showed video of the Seth Rollins fan attack on our Raw post show. Every Monday night after Raw, if you're looking for Raw analysis, I am on every Monday night with my brother right here, 11 p.m. Eastern. We go live, and we analyzed everything that happened with the Seth Rollins fan attack on the Monday Night Raw show. That's available right here on the Ringside Report Network. Check it out. It was a good one. Yeah. Great pounce. Sting and Darby hit the ring. Billy and Colton bailed, so I guess Sting and Darby are feuding with the Guns, which, you know, not exciting.
I mean, it's not the best thing to show, but I think they need something for Darby to bounce back from because he took that loss right at the pay-per-view, so
yeah,
this is kind of like his bounce-back feud.
Too easy.
And it's a throw-in Sting. It's easy, but it's also a throw-in Sting as well, so
I guess.
So you can get two things done.
I guess for Sting to be able to wrestle, it does a little tag team thing, but it just seems like Darby is at a higher level than wrestling against these guys. These guys are jabronis. They're on AEW Dark, you know. I like Billy Gunn and all, but his kids are like not quite up to snuff, and Darby is a major star in AEW. I don't really care to see him feuding with this kind of lower level talent. But whatever. It's just in the meantime. Christian and the Jurassic Express cut a backstage promo. Christian talking about helping Jurassic Express win the AEW Tag Team titles, which are currently held by fellow babyface team, the Lucha Brothers. What the hell was that?
Well, faces can face faces. It happens. You know, I mean, it's just the way it works out. They're the number one ranked team. They're going for the tag titles, and like they've got quite a few tag title shots in the past. It feels like it's their time now. It feels like they should win it.
Over the Lucha Brothers at this point? I don't know. Maybe. People do like the Jurassic Express. Is there a way that they could fit Christian into this team and have Freebird rules with the tag team titles, and Christian could be part of the team sometimes? Like, sometimes it's Jungle and the Lucha, but sometimes it's Jungle and Christian. Because, Christian is good.
Christian is very good. I don't know if they would do that, though, because they've been pushing Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy for such a long time. I don't see that happening, but, I mean, we'll wait and see how this all works out. Christian said he's going to do whatever he can to make sure they win, so we'll see what that means.
I just think it would be a better team to watch as far as the matches if it were Christian and Jungle Boy. Just saying. Eddie Kingston backstage in Catering 2.0 and Daniel Garcia showed up. Big Magic tries to make peace with Eddie Kingston, but it's all a ruse because then Garcia throws coffee on him, and then security has to stop Eddie. Whoa, that shocked me. And then security had to stop Eddie Kingston from going bananas. So now we will have a match. It will be Eddie Kingston versus Daniel Garcia on Rampage. We set up another Rampage match with a backstage promo. Adam Cole and Bobby Fish talking about what's going wrong with them lately, but they will overcome because they are really more than a team. They are family. They are best friends. Of course, cue Chuck Taylor and his best friends team Chuck Taylor, Orange Cassidy, and Wheeler Yuta show up and say, no, we're best friends. That's the name of our team. So now we will have a match. It will be Orange Cassidy and Wheeler Yuta versus Adam Cole and Bobby Fish coming up on Rampage. Britt Baker will wrestle Riho on Rampage on Friday as well. Britt Baker was backstage with Rebel and Tony Schiavone for a Friendsgiving segment. Tony tells Britt that Riho was never eliminated from the All Out Battle Royal, so now she gets a match with Britt on Friday, and if she beats Britt in the non-title match, she will earn herself a title match with Britt. How the hell was Riho not eliminated from the Battle Royal? What happened there?
I think she got injured, actually, if I'm not mistaken. I heard that she was hurt or something, so I think that's why they just had her roll out and had her just leave because, yeah, she just physically couldn't continue.
Yep. That makes sense then. I liked that Britt got so mad at Tony Schiavone for giving her the bad news about the match with Riho that when Tony Schiavone went to do the DMD, she said, no DMD. We're not doing that now. She got all mad. That was good.
Tony was sad.
Yeah, Tony was sad. I like that. That was good. It was good stuff. Britt's fantastic. She's got great personality. She's got great charisma. She's fantastic. Thunder Rosa beat Jamie Hayter tonight via pinfall to advance into the semifinals of the TBS tournament. Rosa rolls up Hayter despite interference from Britt Baker. Britt tried to jump into the ring. Rebel distracted the ref. Britt came in, she did get Thunder Rosa to break a submission hold that she had Hayter in. Hayter then held up Rosa, but Rosa dodged the super kick, and Britt kicked Hayter right in the face, which led to Rosa eventually getting the win here on Hayter and advancing in the tournament, which is bad news for Thunder Rosa. That's right, I said bad news for Thunder Rosa that she advances in the tournament. You know why, Johnny North? Because she has to take on that bitch, Jade Cargill. She's going to get fucked up by the first ever TBS champion, Jade Cargill.
Well,
I love
wait
Jade
and see.
Cargill.
It's still a couple of weeks away.
You shut your mouth.
We still gotta get...
That's Jade Cargill you're talking about. Wait and see. Bullshit, John. Jade Cargill. In your face with muscles and nicely sculpted hair. Perfect face. Tremendous physique. Unstoppable Jade Cargill. That bitch. Gotta love her. I'm the number one Jade Cargill fan in the world. Nobody loves Jade Cargill more than me, except maybe for her husband, former Major League Baseball player Brandon Phillips. Shout out to Harold Schneider for the super chat. Thank you, Harold.
Well, next week we're only going to have the next first round match or quarterfinals match, so
Yeah.
it's going to be a bit of time regardless.
Whoa!
Thank you, Doug. Yeah, Chris Statlander versus Ruby Soho will take place on Dynamite next week in the final quarterfinal of this tournament.
Yeah, not wrong.
Yeah. The winner will face Nyla Rose in the semifinals. So the winner of Ruby versus Statlander next week will face Nyla Rose at some point down the road. And at some point we will see Jade Cargill versus Thunder Rosa, although we don't know when. Probably not for a couple of weeks. January 5th is when the finals will be. The finals of this tournament are taking place January 5th on the first Dynamite on TBS. So we got some time.
A match a week is fine.
Yeah, I think probably less than that at this point. Because next week, let's see. Next week we got Stat and Soho on December 1st. December 8th, I guess you could do one of the you could do Cargill and Thunder. December 15th, you could do the other semifinal, but then you'd still have like 3 weeks to the final. So you're not going to get a match a week, John. There's not enough matches, too many weeks. Too many weeks.
I think you give it enough time that you give some build towards that final match. Like, give it a couple weeks till the final.
Maybe a week or two. Rosa versus Cargill. I got Cargill. We'll see when that match takes place. What else happened here on Dynamite? Team Taz backstage with Dante Martin and Lio Rush. They're at this long table, and Team Taz has a contract for Dante to sign.
It's Santa!
Thank you, Doug. Doug says Smiling Johnny t-shirts or we riot. He wants the Smiling Johnny face on a t-shirt. There's been demand for that, John.
As long as you get it without the head cut off, it'd be fantastic.
All right, we'll try and get Smiling Johnny on a t-shirt. We'll see what we can do. Head cut off or not. Doesn't matter.
I don't know, but make sure the head's not cut off.
I said it doesn't matter, John. It doesn't matter.
It does matter. It always matters. Do it for The Rock, like the kid did.
I did it for The Rock. I did it. All right. Team Taz got Dante Martin to sign the contract for some reason. He decides to not join Lio Rush. Lio Rush is like, no, I don't want to be part of your stupid team, Team Taz. Dante doesn't want any part of this. I don't even think Team Taz offered Lio Rush a spot. They just wanted Dante. But Dante did sign the contract.
He had a contract, though. Lio had a contract, though.
Yeah, he had a copy of Dante's contract for some reason to, like, look it over because he's a businessman. But he just lost his first client in AEW, some businessman. Dante went with Team Taz, one of the most jabroni-ish factions in AEW. You know you suck when your tag team partner's leaving you for Team Taz. Their strongest member is Ricky Starks, who does nothing, basically. Yeah, at this point, Dante Martin is lower on the pecking order than Hook Taz. That's not good. So,
well, it's just weird because they didn't lose ever as a tag team.
What?
Like, they never lost as a tag team. Lio and Dante, they never lost as a tag team, yet he still gave up on him. That's the part that was kind of odd.
Yeah, why? It was very odd. Dante seemed like a babyface this whole time, and then he's just like, nah, heel, fuck it, Team Taz. Very strange. And Leo's like, huh? Makes Lio Rush look pretty jabroni-ish, though, when your guy leaves you for Team Taz. It's not good. Angelo says, it doesn't matter what you think, Johnny. Thank you, Angelo.
Why? Well, why is Angelo a heel now? What happened, Angelo?
No, he's joking around. He's joking. Doug Hepburn's been a member of the Ringside Report universe for 11 months. Almost a full year for Doug. Thank you, Doug. Appreciate you. I love it. I love people that remain members for a long time. It's crazy. Sticking along with us for the ride. Sticking with Johnny North for the ride, you know? I mean, me, yeah, of course, but you're sticking with Johnny, too. Johnny? Are you there?
You're waiting for something here? I don't know what you're waiting for.
I'm waiting for nothing. I'm waiting for nothing, John. Don't worry. Chris Jericho was interviewed backstage. 2.0 and Daniel Garcia show up there, too. And then Jericho tells, what's his name, Big Magic, that he has a square head. And then there was a thing there. Why are these guys showing up with everybody here? Why they show up with Chris Jericho and Eddie Kingston? What's going on?
Well, they're not wrestling, aren't they? Like, it's only Daniel Garcia, so it seemed like they were trying to start up something, so they get some match sometime in the near future, probably against the Inner Circle.
Okay, I guess that's where we're going with the Inner Circle. Them against 2.0 and Daniel Garcia, like Jericho and maybe Santana and Ortiz against those guys?
Possibly just Jericho, Sammy, and Hager as well. I can see that. Maybe not so much Ortiz and Santana.
is the American Top Team thing over? Are we done with Dan Lambert and Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page? Because I haven't seen them since the pay-per-view.
I would think it's done unless they're going to train, JDS to be a better wrestler. Like, I don't think there's not much more you can do with that. Like, I would love if they could pull off JDS being a better wrestler and then bring in Cain Velasquez. Like, that would be fantastic. But JDS needs to get better first.
But if they don't continue with that, then what do they do with Scorpio and Page? They seem to want to make them a team, and Dan Lambert was their mouthpiece. Now, back to square one?
Yeah, it looks like it.
It's rough.
To me,
I like
it's not
Lambert.
the end of the world.
I thought Lambert was a good manager. I think you could keep that faction going. It doesn't have to be against Jericho. It could be against other people.
Well, they need to change it up a little bit because they're too much like kind of a Team Taz in a sense after the way that went down.
Yeah, they lost at the pay-per-view, right? Jericho won.
And like just pretty much got destroyed in a sense. So
yeah,
they need to get reestablished if they're going to come back.
They got to get Paige Van Zant wrestling. That's what they got to do.
Something. They got to do something different.
Bryan Danielson doesn't have to do anything. The guy is the best wrestler in the world today. He knows exactly what he's doing in the ring, on the microphone. He's the man. He beats Colt Cabana in the match of the night, gets him to tap out to the label lock. Bryan flexing when he had him in the omoplata before applying the lock, and then held on to Colt Cabana after he tapped after the bell rung. So that was interesting. Yeah, heel move there from Bryan Danielson. Bryan picked up a tooth on the mat after the match. I guess it was Colt's tooth. I don't know. Bryan said
I didn't see it.
Bryan said
okay.
Bryan said that it was Colt's tooth, but I don't know whose it was. Definitely a tooth. Shivani interviewed Bryan after the match. I thought the match was fantastic. I wanted it to be longer, though. A little too short for my liking. I thought a couple of these matches, like the CM Punk QT Marshall match was too long, and the Bryan Danielson Colt Cabana match was too short. Should have switched the times on those ones.
I don't know. I really felt like this didn't need to be long, and I think this is why it was the best match, because it didn't feel like it dragged. It didn't feel like it went longer than it should have. Like, it was one of those matches where it's like, no, that was perfect. That's exactly the story you're going to tell. You gave Colt a bit of offense, but not too much offense, because let's face it, Bryan Danielson, he's going for the main event title. Like, Colt Cabana should not last that long.
I guess, but I just enjoy watching them wrestle. I like Colt. But he
gave him a lot, if you think about it.
Yeah. Yeah. But I thought the match could have gone a few more minutes. I enjoy watching those two guys wrestle. It's fun. Bryan, interviewed in the ring by Tony Schiavone, he says when he debuted in Chicago, he got a much different reaction than what he did tonight. And he wonders if it's him or is it the fans. Bryan says, he's the same. The fans are treating him differently. It's because they are fickle. And he brought that back, which is something that he was saying in WWE, part of his heel persona when he was with Eric Rowan and doing the whole recycling thing. He says, you loved me, and now for some reason you turn on me? What's the matter with you? I'm the same guy. I'm just telling you how I feel, like I always do. You're fickle. The fans are fickle. And he would say, fickle, fickle. And he threw out the fickle word tonight, and I popped for that. Fickle! Remember when he used to call everybody fickle? Old-time Daniel Bryan fans. Yeah, you loved it.
I tweeted about the recycling thing because it felt like that character all over again, so.
I love it. I want Bryan to come out with Eric Rowan next week as his new manager / bodyguard. And I want Eric Rowan to come out with something in a cage.
I don't know if we need that so much, but
let's do that
Rowan
again.
Would be a nice surprise.
Yeah, I think it would be fun. Bryan challenged any Dark Order member to come after him next week, and he'll kick their heads in. Hangman shows up, and Hangman's dressed to compete. He's wearing his gear this time, not like last week where Bryan said, I'm not going to wrestle you because you're not dressed to compete. Hangman comes out. He's dressed in his gear, and he says he wants to defend the title right here, right now. And Bryan says, oh, that's not cowboy shit. That's coward shit. I just wrestled. You're a coward. Trying to take me at a disadvantage. And Hangman says, okay, well, if we're not going to have a match, I still came here to fight. And he says, how about I give you the first shot, Bryan? And he puts his hands behind his back. And Bryan says, don't insult me like this. And then he slaps him hard across the face. And Hangman punches back, and they start brawling. Hangman goes for the buckshot lariat. And Bryan sees it coming, rolls out of the ring, and walks away. Nice little segment there with Hangman and Bryan Danielson. Seems like there's heat there, and there's always a reason why Bryan is not going to do the match. Last week, it's Hangman's not dressed to compete. This week, he just wrestled. And next week, he wants to face some other member of the Dark Order. I believe that the Hangman-Bryan Danielson match will not actually take place until Saturday, January 8th on TNT in Charlotte, North Carolina at a show called Battle of the Belts. It's going to be a TNT special, not Dynamite, not Rampage, just an AEW special. They signed on to do a few of these next year for TNT, and I think over the next few years for TNT. And the first one will be called Battle of the Belts. They announced this last night. It'll take place Saturday, January 8th in Charlotte. All the champions were pictured in the promo picture. They didn't announce any matches, but they did announce, it's called Battle of the Belts. Hangman's front and center. Britt Baker's there. Tag team champions. So I think that's probably when we see Hangman versus Bryan. I think we push it till then. About a month and a bit.
Be interesting to see. Like, is it going to play out? Like, is it going to be like 4 hours long? Is it going to be like a pay-per-view kind of thing, or is it just going to be like kind of like more of a special Dynamite?
I think it's going to be an hour or two. It's not going to be like a massive because it's on TV. It's not. They're not going to give them a 4-hour block on TV. They'll get a couple hours, maybe.
Right. But they said a special, so I mean, who knows? Like, they might, give them a little bit longer than usual.
Yeah. Is that when you think Bryan Hangman?
I mean, if it's not that, you're thinking winter is coming, right? However, winter is coming very soon, so it feels like that's way too soon for that to happen.
When is that?
I want to say it's middle of December. I want to say it's the 15th.
It's like a special Dynamite called Winter is Coming?
I mean, it could happen there, but if it happens there, they're going to have to announce that pretty soon, I think.
Yeah. Silent by Deadly asking a very easy question to answer. Did Hangman Page wrestle in the Indies before he came to AEW? Yes. Easy to answer that one. Yes, he did. Several different promotions before AEW. Ring of Honor, among others. New Japan, but a lot of smaller promotions before that as well, of course. As most wrestlers do and continue to do, even when they're in AEW. And that was Dynamite. I thought the show was pretty good tonight. I enjoyed it. I thought match of the night, Bryan Danielson, Colt Cabana. Segment of the night, MJF, CM Punk. The main event was not my favorite, but it was all right. I thought the other matches were fine. Thunder and Hayter I thought was pretty good. Right, that was a good match.
I liked it, but except there was way too much stuff on the outside. If they kept it more in the ring, it wouldn't have been so bad, but stuff on the outside was way too long.
CM Punk and QT was all right. Billy and his son versus Bear Country was, wasn't that long. It was fine. But overall, very good show. I like Dynamite tonight. And we've got some things set up for next week's Dynamite. Well, just one match, Statlander versus Soho in the quarterfinal. Winner faces Nyla Rose in the semis. Coming up on Rampage on Friday, it'll be Britt Baker versus Riho, Eddie Kingston versus Daniel Garcia, and Orange Cassidy and Wheeler Yuta versus Adam Cole and Bobby Fish, the undisputed elites, or whatever they're calling themselves now. And that was Dynamite. Decent episode of Dynamite. Thank you to everybody watching tonight. We appreciate you, and especially thank you to the supporters. Thank you to Silent by Deadly supporting. I believe you are the Super Chat leader right now. Thank you, Silent. Thank you, Harold Schneider. Thank you, Doug Hepburn. Thank you, Angelo Contagonis. Yes, Silent by Deadly is the Super Chat leader. And yes, indeed, Angelo, if Riho wins, she gets a title shot. If she beats Britt, which I guess she will. Britt needs a challenger.
Yeah, I think so.
Right?
Right.
Somebody needs to face her.
It also kind of helps establish Riho right away. You haven't really seen her on TV in a very long time, so with that win right away, it makes her a contender. So yeah, she should beat her, I think.
Yep. Makes sense. Because other than that, who's Britt feuding with? We thought that Britt was going to cost Thunder Rosa the match tonight, and it would lead to a Britt versus Thunder program, but not so. Thunder wins.
Oh, you thought that. I thought maybe interference, but Thunder was still going to go on in this match. Thunder versus Cargill, they had to do
that makes sense. I guess so. What's the deal with Hayter, though? Is she still with Team DMD, or is she mad? Because she pushed Britt after the match. She got mad that Britt kicked her.
She's mad, but, people are going to be beefing. That happens. I don't think it's a breakup yet, but wait and see.
Hayter's never been fully on Team DMD. You know, when Britt does the DMD, Rebel does it, and Hayter doesn't. She just stands there looking mean, and Rebel kind of nudges her like, "Hey, you're supposed to do the DMD." She doesn't do it. She's on Team Britt, but she's kind of the muscle. She's paid to be there. It seems like she's not doing it for the love of Britt Baker. So I think maybe at this point we're getting close to the end of Jamie Hayter's run with Britt Baker, which I think is premature. I would like to have seen her stick around with Britt a little longer. Does Britt need two managers, two enforcers? I don't know, but a little backup's not too bad when you're a heel champion. I didn't like Hayter pushing Britt at the end of that, because it feels like, we're probably towards the end of this thing, and I don't see Hayter having too much of an upside as a babyface. She seems like a good heel, much better heel than a babyface. So I don't see her having a strong babyface run unless they're going to try and have her go up against Britt, and she'll be Britt's next challenger, which is possible. Turn Hayter babyface to go up against Britt, but I feel like Hayter is more of a natural heel, and if they do that, the fans will just cheer for Britt again, and Britt will turn into the babyface again. I don't think you can turn Jamie Hayter babyface by turning on Britt. I think if Jamie Hayter turns on Britt, the fans will reject Hayter for doing so.
Yeah, I don't think this is them breaking up. I think it's just, it was obvious it was Britt's fault, so she called her out on it. That's pretty much it. I think they'll work through this, but it's also to plant the fact that one day they'll probably go their separate ways. I mean, it always happens in wrestling that breakups happen, but I think it's too soon for that to happen.
Look, everyone, it's Santa!
All right. Well, we'll see what happens. Doug Hepburn just dropping a super chat. He says, "Great to hear from you, AJ. Go Habs go." AJ on the chat as well. AJ will be with me tomorrow night. We'll be talking about, I don't know, stuff in the UFC, I guess. I got very little for tomorrow night's show. I got to go start prepping tomorrow night's show right now. because there's no fights this weekend. There's jack shit this weekekend. So I don't know what we're going to talk about.
Analyze the whole Seth Rollins attack thing and how AJ would have looked at it. Like that'd be fun.
Would you like that? AJ analysis of the Seth Rollins fan attack? We could do that.
And Fred too.
AJ says crack cocaine and John Jones, which is like, I don't want to talk about that. I don't know why. AJ always wants to talk about John Jones. He says he doesn't hate John Jones. He doesn't have any problem with John Jones, but then he's always like disparaging the man's character, which is easy to do, quite frankly, with John Jones.
Well, you can talk about John Jones' next match coming up.
Oh, against Jake Hager, his grappling match. Not an MMA fight, a grappling match against Jake Hager, which I believe John Jones will win very easily, right? Like, come on. Get a grip.
I don't know if it'll be that easy, but...
I do.
Wait and see.
I know it'll be that easy. We can talk about that. We can talk about Jones and Hager, and then AJ and Freddie can break down the Seth Rollins fan attack. How about that? Tomorrow night
Sounds good.
On Ringside Report MMA. Johnny just booked the show for me. Thanks, John. Ringside Report MMA tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. There's no UFC this weekend, so there's nothing to preview. Next UFC card will be December 4th, JC's birthday. Rob Font versus Jose Aldo back at the Apex in Vegas. And Rolando wants to talk about Thug Rose. Maybe we'll talk about Thug Rose tomorrow. I don't know why, but maybe we will. She's awesome. She's a world champion. I think AJ probably picked Weili Zhang to win that fight, and I picked Thug Rose, and you know how that went. Jason Pete coming into the show very late. The show's over, Jason. What's up, Jason? Shout out to Jason in Mexico. He's a member of the team. Don't forget to be a member of the team. Go to join.ringsidereport.net. If you're watching us on a desktop right now, you can just go click that join button, and you will join. Huh.
I don't think you like that comment too much.
I don't know. I just saw that. I was like, what is het? Oh, I see. Oh, I don't need to know that, Rolando. That is... I don't want to know what you're horny for. That's unseemly.
We're getting too late. We're getting too late in the show now.
Yeah,
I guess.
It's getting too late. And people were... This guy, Rolando, we're cutting into his Bible study, and now he's talking about he loves Rose because she's a Christian, and he's horny for her. This turned into a... I don't know, some of the chat, this Rolando fellow is very... He's getting salty tonight, and it's a little late. I think it's past his bedtime. It's past everybody's bedtime. Go to bed, Rolando. Go to bed. And AJ now is jumping into it because, yeah, why wouldn't he? Whew. Wow.
Oh, with that, we should end it.
Yeah, let's please end it because it's going down a dark path that I don't want to go down. Doug Hepburn is the Super Chat leader. He just took over from Silent by Deadly. Shout out to Doug. Doug Hepburn, thank you. You are the Super Chat leader tonight. Silent by Deadly, thank you as well. Harold Schneider and Angelo Contagonis. Uh-oh. McGregor.
What was the for?
Look, everyone, it's Santa!
That, Angelo taking over and taking the lead and winning the night once again. And he says, thanks for tonight's show, guys. Don't forget McGregor. He wants us to talk about McGregor. Oh, my God. Rolando is dying, and he's laughing about it. That's not good. Rest in peace, Rolando. Rest in peace. Can you do that? Can you roll your eyes in the back of your head? I've been watching Undertaker for so many years that I can do it. I can do the Undertaker thing. You can't do that?
No. It doesn't sound like something you'd want to do, to be honest. Like
it's easy.
It sounds painful.
You see me do it? You see just the whites of my eyes. You see that when I do it?
I notice.
Rest in peace. It's actually hard to stick out your tongue and do it.
You did it quite well.
You got to stick out your tongue first. You got to stick out your tongue first. Taker was good at it. Stick out your tongue for. I had trouble sticking out my tongue while my eyes were rolling back. The eyes rolling back, I have no problem doing. It's not hard for me to do. Easy. You're going to sit here like this all day. They say it's
I don't
not
know if
good
you want
for
to
you.
do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a little dizzy now. But I could do that, and I could do the water spit that Triple H does. Can you do that? Take like a bunch of water in your mouth and go, and like have it go up and then go right in front. I could do that. I've been a wrestling fan for so long, I've been practicing this nonsense. You can't do that? Whoa, Harold Schneider just dropped a big super chat. $20
Wow.
super chat from Harold. And he's claiming victory. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I think Angelo got beat.
Angelo just got taken over. I am shocked. What? Doug Hepburn's jumping in too? He says, great impressions, Dave. Well, that was a nice super chat from Doug. Doesn't do quite enough to beat Harold with a big super chat here at the end. Doug likes my impressions. Yeah, I did Triple H tonight. I did Undertaker. The problem is when you roll your eyes in the back of your head, you can't see. So I don't know what I look like when I'm doing it. I think it's the dark part of your eyes that make you see. I don't know. I'm no doctor. But when you roll your eyes in the back of your head like that, you can't see anything. So I don't know what I look like when I'm doing it. So I don't know if my eyes actually disappear, if it's just like all white, or I don't know if it works. You know what I mean?
It works.
All right. Yes. Success. Whoa. All right.
Something
Angelo.
happened again?
Yeah, Angelo's.
We're on
Here,
delay.
Everyone, it's Santa!
here it comes. Angelo drops a super chat with a cool emoji. And I believe with that, Angelo is the new super chat leader. Good God almighty. Harold, you were gonna take it from Angelo tonight. I really thought you had it. And now Angelo jumps back with a $13.99 just to swoop in and steal the lead from Harold. In typical Angelo fashion. Appreciate you. Rolando wants to see me on TV. I don't need to be on TV. I'd rather be on YouTube. It's better than TV.
You've been on TV before.
Yeah, I've been on TV. I've been on the radio. I've been on Twitch. I've been on Facebook. I've been on YouTube. I've been on all the things. All the things, all the time. I'll be back tomorrow night at 8 right here on all the things, on the Twitch, the Facebook, the YouTube. I'll be back on... Yeah, I know TV. I don't care about TV. TV's old. Who watches TV anymore? Seriously, who watches TV? I stream things. I barely watch TV. The only time I watch TV is when I'm watching wrestling. It's the only thing, that's the only thing I still watch on TV, quite frankly. Because it's live, and that's about it. That's pretty much the only TV I watch. Everything else is streaming. Right? John, you don't even have cable TV. Do you?
No, but with apps, that's how I pretty much watch things now, right?
That's what I'm saying. Who watches TV? It's all, whatever. We'll be back Friday, right? You and me?
Friday, yes, but you'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah, I know. I was just saying. But Friday, I'll be back with you, and we'll watch Rampage together, and we will talk about Smackdown that just happened, and hopefully nobody attacks any of the WWE superstars, where they will be in Greensboro. Woo! Flair country. Charlotte Flair, the queen, in Greensboro, North Carolina. That's gonna be something. She's gonna get a big time reaction in Greensboro. I remember when Ric Flair would go to Greensboro, even when he was a heel, the reactions for the Nature Boy, especially in the WCW days. My God, when they would go to Greensboro, those people would go nuts for Ric Flair, like nuts. Like Punk in Chicago, but more even. Right? Like the reactions Punk gets in Chicago, do they compare to the reactions that Flair would get in Greensboro? Because those people worship that man. He could commit sexual assault in that city and not get arrested, I bet.
I don't know about that, but
I bet. I bet he could. I bet he could and has. I mean, I'm just saying. Probably he's done some. He does bad things. He shows his penis to people when they don't want to see it, and so on. It's well documented, John.
Well, he's denying those allegations, but regardless, like...
Ric Flair is denying that he shows his penis to people?
In that situation that you're referring to.
On the plane ride from hell. Yeah, but there's hundreds of stories I've heard from various wrestlers who say, oh, yeah, Flair, he's got a big penis, he would get naked, put his robe on, and then flash people with his penis. It was a regular occurrence. It would happen all the time. Everybody in the business saw Flair's dick. Like, he could say, oh, that one time, that didn't actually happen, that wasn't true. But, let's not say that he didn't do that quite often, because he did. Because it's been confirmed by many different people that Ric Flair exposed himself all the time. Apparently, Rolando likes to do the same thing. Jesus, what is with this Rolando? I think he's a friend of AJ's, and there's real issues going on here, Rolando. Doug Hepburn dropping a super chat says, Johnny, you watch The Young and the Restless?
I have no idea where he gets this whatsoever.
Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about.
I mean, we watch wrestling. That's a soap opera.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm thoroughly confused, and I think that's the way to end the show. Before things get more out of hand and people drop more super chats and things get a little crazier, Angelo has taken the lead. Angelo is the leader. Appreciate everybody. Sorry, Harold. I know you claimed victory in that super chat, and I thought you would get it. I really did. The $20 super chat, I thought, Harold's got it. And then Angelo comes in. He's like, no. Appreciate you guys supporting the Ringside Report Network. Really appreciate you. Rolando's talking about Louis C.K. I don't know why. And you know what? I don't want to know. We got to get Rolando off the chat. Rolando, get off the chat. What's the matter with you? What's going on? Silent by Deadly, thank you for the super chat. Harold Schneider, thank you for all your super chats tonight. Doug Hepburn as well. Thank you, Doug. And, of course, Angelo Contagonis out in Laval, the super chat leader of the night. Thank you, Angelo, my friend. Appreciate you. And I will see you all tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time for Ringside Report MMA. And then, of course, Friday night with Johnny for Wrestling Uncensored, 10 p.m. Eastern, right after Smackdown. Oh, wait. Something I learned how to do the other day. Smackdown. You like that? Echo.
It's all right.
Woo. All right. Bye.